Hey guys, welcome to Tough Tuesday. Appreciate you guys joining me today. I had some technological difficulties trying to shoot it with a background behind me. I was going to try to, give you a little bit a better quality video today, but I think I'm just going to stick with doing these selfie videos every day to just try to do faster info. But on Tough Tuesday, what I do is I try to address a topic that's really socially, economically, or politically challenging, something that's really kind of something that strikes the heart of a lot of things that we're dealing with right now. And one of those issues is mental health. So today I want to talk about mental health, and specifically mental health tied to social media or Facebook. Today I'm able to broadcast live right now to your phone, and that to me is remarkable, that I can even have an opinion that can be broadcast to many people all around the world. That's insanely cool. The problem that we're having is we're seeing this rise in isolation and depression that's coming out of this huge rise in use of social media, the ubiquity of social media and how much people are using it is directly correlated to how much depression someone might be facing or some mental health issues that someone might be facing. So there's been a lot of research that's been done on it. So people are not really unaware of it. You might not be unaware of it. But the problem that I think is going on is in 2006, this number started to rise in terms of suicide rates. For the late 80s and early 90s, people were really pretty much stable, especially in middle age. There weren't the suicide rates had kind of leveled off. But then when you look at 2006, they started to really rise. And in recent years, it's reached a 30-year high, suicide has. And specifically, it's peaked with women, middle-aged women, and basically it's up across every age bracket. The only real group that's fallen in its suicide rate is black men. And what's crazy is that I think what's happening is people are going to Facebook and they're not just giving Facebook their info and giving them some posts and some information to send around the world. They're literally giving a piece of themselves with every single time they scroll the feed. So let me give you an example of how this would work and how ridiculous it would be if it was in this illustration. Someone invites you over to their home, and normally they have pictures up on the walls, right? What's in those pictures? It's typically the family smiling and going on vacation and doing all these things together, right? But do you walk out of someone's house feeling more depressed, more isolated? I mean, those pictures typically don't do that to people. Now, you might look at their home and be like, oh man, I wish I had a home like this, or how can they afford a home like this? How do they buy a home like this? Yes, you might do that. But just the photos themselves, we don't really do that with. And Facebook is just a wall of photos. Now, imagine if their walls were like Facebook, right? It would not only be curated like that, it's a curated version of their lives. It's the best version of their lives. It would also have the political rants and the terrible restaurant dinner out or date night that they had or whatever it was, right? The rants would be on the walls too. So it kind of creates a skewed version of reality where you think everyone would have this curated version of their life, but they're also posting rants and political opinions and all that stuff, just like I'm doing right now. So the point is, if you go to Facebook and you're depressed, if you go to Facebook and you feel isolated, if you go to Facebook and you feel like either you're doing better than people or you should be doing better than people, I think this is our fault, because I've done this myself many times where I've gone onto Facebook and I've been like, how do they afford that? How did they go to that place? How are they so physically fit? Name the thing, right? And I've done that. Now that's my mental health problem. Right? Facebook didn't make me think that way. Facebook didn't make me do those things or say those things, right? I'm doing that. It's an identity problem. So the idea that you could just kind of avoid Facebook and this problem goes away, it doesn't. Right? So my challenge to you here on Tough Tuesday is go on a Facebook or social media fast. Yes, do that. But then come back and then really try to see the value in what people are doing, right? Now, there are people that are saying dumb things. But there are people that are just trying to post the best versions of their lives because we aspire to be and do more. We want to be better than what we think life is. You don't want people posting fights with their spouse. I mean, that would be real, right? But it wouldn't be something they would aspire to be. It might be a real thing happening, but they want to be more. They want to have better marriages and better families. So The core of this really comes down to, how do you see your value? Where do you get your core identity from? And you might think that that's too deep of a topic to really think about it, but that's where it's coming from. Because if you're taking a picture on an electronic device and you're deducing that you are less or you are more than because of that thing, you got a mental health problem. You have a serious issue going on here, and I think we all have mental health problems. I think every single person has a mental health problem. I mean, if we experience fear, anxiety, stress, conceit, I mean, all of these things are mental health problems. So because of that reality, I think we need to be able to understand, where does our source come from? Where does the real identity come from? Now, if you do a contrast of worldviews, you'll be able to kind of see where that identity might come from. If you take a naturalistic or materialistic framework like atheism, if you take that framework, then your real value is in propagating your DNA. So as long as you're faster than the other guy, or building more than the other guy, then everything, I guess, is okay. I mean, don't worry, as long as you're the strongest lion in the pack, right? If you go to maybe Eastern thought, this is all an illusion, including you. You're kind of just trying to get off the karmic cycle so you can find nirvana. So you don't want to stay reliving this life again. You don't want to be on the reincarnation cycle. So this is just an illusion. You want to get off of it so you can really find the real thing, which is nirvana or moksha. Or you can go to the Judeo-Christian worldview, which says that you have infinite value from the creator of the entire universe. Now, that might seem a little bit too cocky, right? It might seem like, well, how's that possible, right? But if you just think about it, right? If I am the effect and the God of the Judeo-Christian worldview is the cause, and I'm a relational being and I crave relationship with everyone else, shouldn't he also be relational? And if that's true, wouldn't he define relationship if he was an uncreated being, right? Because that's what the Judeo-Christian worldview says, is that he's not created, nothing created him, right? He's just always been. And if he defines relationship, then that means he's put relationship into me, and he's made this whole world out of that kind of love, right? So that means I have infinite value from a God that created everything, that is relational, and that is love, that defines love. Now, that is a love and an identity that never changes. The endurance of that love and that identity can't die. But we continue to give our identities to achievement, power, money, family, children, and those people will disappoint us. Those materials will disappoint us. They'll die and they'll wither. I'm not saying they're bad things. They're good things. They're just in the wrong order. So we have to put them in the right order and discover what your identity is. So this is a slightly longer video than I usually do, but I just want you to think really deep before the next time you go into a social media feed and then you start getting mad about how much people have or how much people don't have. So just analyze the way you're thinking about this a little bit, and I hope this helps. Leave a comment below if you disagree with me, or leave a compliment if you do agree with me. But thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.